Hey, I'm Pascal from Orangepixel, and this week I'm uploading daily videos covering a range of topics based on questions and feedback I got from people watching this channel or just in general on any of my social media, which is a great bridge because today's topic is social media. What are some basic things you can do for marketing your game and your brand and your company? What can you do on social media that actually works and eventually builds up a following? Some tips after the intro. Now, I'm not a marketing guy, so everything I'm gonna tell you here is like pretty much the most basic and the most simple thing you should and could be doing as a game developer. Talk about your game as you're working on it, as you're developing it. Talk about yourself or your company, or in my case, that's pretty much the same. I am my own company. This is like the basic and the least thing you should be doing if you ever want to sell a game and hope people will know about that game before it actually releases. So let's talk about the first platform, Twitter. I still think this is one of the easiest to use as a game developer in your rhythm. As you're creating games, it should be fairly easy to create GIF images and videos and interesting screenshots of your game as you're working on it. Twitter is like the best place to place these quick little thingies and always try to tell people where to get the game and what it is, what it's called and where to find it, and of course hashtags. I know a lot of people will tell you hashtags have no interest or no meaning and are useless. I think they're wrong. Even if you're using hashtags like indie game dev or game dev, you're mostly talking to other game developers, but other game developers also play games and they will help you retweet your tweet and retweet it to the other people they have followers, and hashtags simply still work, and there are a lot more hashtags to use. I often use the hashtag games or gamers, pixel art. There are a huge amount of hashtags you could be using in these tweets. So I still think Twitter is a very good way to keep talking about your game for the little thing, even if you have some stuff that's failing or is buggy. That just makes for great tweets and great images. And so Twitter is really something I still use for almost everything I enjoy or like to share. It will be put on my Twitter. I have two accounts actually. This is the Orange Pascal account. This is pretty much everything I do day to day is done on this. And then I also have the Orangepixel account. This account is mostly used for the official announcement and things like that. So discounts, sales, new releases, whatever is official and mostly targeted towards gamers will be on the Orangepixel account. I've seen some developers start an account for the game they're working on, and I recommend against it because you're gonna attract a lot of people interested in that game, and when you start a new game you pretty much lose all those followers and have to start all over again from scratch. I would just stick to either a company account or a developer, a personal account. And the things I'm posting on these accounts are, like I said, mostly just the fun stuff I'm working on. Everything is interesting to somebody. Just post it, and also a lot of tweets will not be even seen by others. So you can just retweet stuff, you can reshare it again, or you can reuse those GIFs or images or screenshots at another time and another date. Just don't be afraid to share your game. As soon as you start developing it, it will also be a great indicator to see if people are interested or not. Which brings me to the platform that I had been struggling with the most, but in the last year I finally got to grips with it and now understand how to use it. Instagram. Instagram is very visual, which is perfect if you're working on games. I love the stories, and I think most Instagram users and most influencers are mostly using stories and not posting as much to their feed. So I came up with a couple of rules for myself. The first rule is that there are 3 types of pictures I share on my feed. One is, or I can show you. So the picture types are 3 things. I'm always posting an image of myself, which just is the personality behind the account, behind the developer. Often this is just a thumbnail of my YouTube videos. The second category is a screenshot or pixel art straight from the PC. No picture, no camera, just this is literally from the PC. Let me scroll down a little bit. And the third picture is my game or any of my games running on devices. So usually a picture of a device running either my game or in this case the newsletter, things like that. And as you can see, this brings a very interesting timeline. Always same type of pictures, same type of pictures, same type of pictures, and they all come in threes. And finally, I'm using stories to just share fun stuff that I'm working on during the week. Maybe 1 or 2 stories a week. These vanish within 24 hours, so you can pretty much show anything that doesn't fit your timeline but looks interesting at that time, because it will be gone and it won't clutter up your feed. Stories include weird buggy things that I ran into while working on the game. Things might go wrong and bug out, and that just makes for great content, so I quickly grab my phone, video it, create a story, move on. I use a lot of hashtags in the stories. You can hide them behind other text, so often in my stories you will not find hashtags, but they are there. So I really gotten to like Instagram over the year, and it's great to show off your game and show your personality a little bit by using the story, so I recommend using Instagram as well. That brings me to Facebook, which everybody knows Facebook. I just don't think a lot of people are still using Facebook very actively, or at least not to search and find about games. I see Facebook just as a second website. It's an alternate to having a website. I also still recommend having a website just because that's your own landing page and you have full control over it. But like websites, Facebook doesn't really gain many followers or gain much attention. So I'm still using Facebook. It's usually the same tweets or the Instagram picture, but with a longer text accompanying it, because I notice people on Facebook like to read that extra stuff, and they're more relaxed browsing Facebook than they are reading Twitter. So Facebook's still an interesting platform to use. I think it's the lesser of Instagram and Twitter, which does bring me to the one that I prefer above all, and that's YouTube. So I've been doing YouTube since 2018, uploading videos every week, and I have to say I love the whole process, but I also love the reach and whatever you can show on YouTube. Now, of course, YouTube isn't for everybody. You need to feel comfortable with a camera pointing at you, and it takes time to learn how to do this. Your first couple of videos, like a lot of your first videos, will kind of suck, and if you watch them later on, they will really suck. But eventually you will get better at YouTube. It's still very time consuming compared to Instagram or Twitter. Obviously a tweet is done in like a minute. Instagram stories can take a couple of minutes, but a YouTube video like this one will quickly take, I don't know, 30 minutes, 45 minutes without the editing. I have to edit it, upload it, create a thumbnail. It takes more work and more effort, but I also think I'm building a good relationship with you as a viewer, and all the others, and even that weird guy at the back. Yeah, you. Nice. All right. So I'm building a closer relationship to some of you. It takes more work, but it's interesting, I think. It's also the only social media platform that actually pays me for my content. Twitter, I can post great GIFs and screenshots and attract a lot of people. I'm not getting a dime for it. And Instagram, I don't get paid for it. YouTube videos, my own content, I actually get paid for these videos. I get to show off my own game. And I really love the process of creating these videos. Now, the key to having a little bit of success on YouTube is be consistent, have a good upload schedule, and try to incorporate it into your whole workflow, which kind of goes for all the social media platforms. Try to incorporate everything in your workflow. So for me, every Friday I will have a new update of the game I'm working on. I'll make sure there's a devlog, a written devlog with a screenshot and a list of features that have changed. And that also allows me to create a video about it. Then I have a thumbnail for that video. I'll have something to tweet about. I'll have an Instagram story. I have an Instagram picture. It's all part of my workflow, and that's probably the key to doing this right and to be consistent. Try to incorporate it into the workflow you have, and that's the best tip I can give. Now, there is one final platform I want to mention, and that's Discord. I really enjoy Discord a lot. If you do all of this just to build up a community, Discord is the perfect place to get everybody to connect and meet up. So in my videos, I'll tell people to drop by on the Discord. I'll also mention it in tweets and on Instagram. I'll try to mention it everywhere. I'm usually there as I'm working, have a chat open and interact with people. Discord is a great platform to build up. Again, all these platforms are very hard to gain followers, and it's not something you can do in like a couple of days, but you should see these things as long-term investments. Try to gain a community, be your own influencer. That's pretty much your goal, so that instead of having to use Twitch streamers and YouTube streamers and other influencers, you can just use your own platforms to talk about your own game, which is pretty much what I'm trying to do in the last couple of years. Alright, that's it for today's video. Make sure to like, subscribe, because there's more content coming the rest of the week and after that as well. So drop down the Discord and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Topics like